My dad was everything and more. He was like a jack of all trades. How did you live so many lives? Like, you have accomplished so many things that, to some people, I'm like, some people barely get out of bed every day. Like, you accomplished so much. I feel like that's still rubbing off on me a little bit. I'm still trying to be a go-getter as much as he was. I feel like my relationship with God was so strong because of him. Um, he felt like without God, there was like nothing mattered, He's like, I met your mom and that's all I cared about. I didn't care about money. I just cared about taking care of you guys. And I feel like as much as like he lived that life of trying to achieve and like accomplish and, doing all that, he had this deep side to him that I think like we all like struggle with in general, but he was very vocal about it and like really, really was unashamedly a follower of God and like was a teacher. So like, even though like he would be at the fire station and, all the guys are talking about like whatever it is that firefighters talk about, he would constantly preach, like genuinely preach to them about God and to the people that he would serve during 911 calls, emergency like situations. Like he would always bring it back to that, whether he would like risk getting in trouble, because it's like a city job. You can't talk about religion or politics or anything. He was not afraid to talk about any of those things. So he was very, very brave, and that word is him. Regular camera. Wait a minute, is that why you have children?
What's that?
I said, is that why you have children? So that they could row you around?
That's right. Okay, now, where's my fan?
And the grapes.
Hand me grapes and stuff.
Is this normal?
Well, I hope so, because you're in training, girl.
Turn around, Simone. That's it.
He met my mom when I was 12, coming up on 13, or 13 coming up on 14, I can never remember. But it was really beautiful because he came into our lives and then brought Brandy with him and, married my mom. He liked to call us he was my FD. He was my fire dad, or he said my favorite dad. We're really lucky. Corky was in it, He came to every one of my tedious, theater shows in high school, having to listen to a bunch of high school freshmen sing Charlotte's Web for 3 hours in a sweaty auditorium with no AC, that's family. God, he'd listen to me sing constantly. Just growing up, he would always answer the phone whenever we called, always showed up for every big event, every life's moment. And he was busy too. He worked all the time at the fire station. He worked overtimes too to provide a beautiful life for his family. But he also was inventing things all the time and, had time for his friends and had time for his dad and time for his brother and would always make sure he'd make time to call his mom, and he'd make time to do Bible study with people that needed someone to help out with a reaching hand. He'd make time for, field service on Saturdays. And he'd still call me and say, "Oh my God, sweetheart, I missed your call. What happened? Tell me everything." It's just family, right? He's been around a while. He's my stepdad, Brandy's full dad, Denise's stepdad too, but we've never in our lives called him stepdad. Denise calls him a bonus dad.
Life is short. Enjoy every part of your life.
You don't have to go that close.
And be grateful and blessed every day. Okay? Denise?
Tim, you don't have to go that close. Like this. Like this.
I like it.
Corky was a really well-matched partner to my mom. So that was like really nice just to see somebody that kind of matched the same energy. So like both my parents remarried and their partners seemed to really fit them, like their personalities perfectly. So I was like really happy to see both of my parents like really happy and well cared for in a really healthy relationship. So I always like felt like I got lucky because I got extra bonus family. So with, Corky was just another bonus dad. And then later after that, like came Brandy. So I got another sister. So that was really exciting. But just having additional love and support in the family is always great. I love having our blended family. Corky was just like a super grandpa. So basically, like very shortly after Brandy was born, me and my husband Tim got married. And so he was at our wedding. And of course, like thereafter, we had Alexis. So Alexis, our daughter, and Brandy are really close in age. So he was there like the night I found out I was pregnant because I called my mom at like 2 a.m. They both jumped up thinking it's an emergency. But it was just like me being like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. Excited and scared at the same time. But then, of course, he was there, during the pregnancy. They were all hanging out in the waiting room. So they're always there. He was always definitely like a family man, but he like jumped into being a great grandpa from the very beginning. It was funny when we'd go on like a vacation, let's say me and Tim, we like left the kids with them. He'd like send funny pictures of like glasses on the kids and, like just funny, like pictures of the kids up to like no good. He would like stage them, of course, because they're like infants and stuff. So that was always really funny. But he was wonderful at like showing the kids how to like ride scooters and take them on like fishing trips and taught like the kids how to ski. So like he was just always trying to like help and be a great grandpa. And he was always like ready and willing to like help with anything we needed, go to the kids' baseball games and softball games and, of course, Brandy's performances. So he was always showing up for everybody, which was awesome. And he was always wanting to like host. So he loved to cook and he loved ambiance, which was really fun. But like he'd always like set the mood. Like he'd always like have the house like, all lit up and candles and, smelling nice and sound like music from room to room and all the way to the backyard. So he'd always like really try to like make sure everybody was like comfortable and cared for. And of course, like helped host parties over the years for the kids for graduations and so on. So he was always just willing to help and jump in.
That's the old man.
That's so old.
Look at me now because later I have lots of scratches in my face. My hair will be a mess because
when I met him, I thought he was the most beautiful man I'd ever seen. And he tells me the same thing. He says like, yeah, I just, your smile, and I was like, oh no, your smile. And then when we started talking, it was basically on the phone. We talked quite a bit, and so he would say something like, well, my birthday is April 26th. And I'm like, my birthday is April 26th. And then I would say something like, I have all these books and I love them. Those are the ones I'm going to keep. He's like, I literally have all those. Now, I can't see where he lives. I can't see the books. But I was like, is he just saying this stuff to me? Like, oh, me too, my birthday is the same, And then, his mom was Mexican and his dad was white and my mom was half Mexican anyway, and my dad was white. So it was like we had a lot in common, and they were around the same age too and everything. So it was like really weird because I had never met anybody that had so much in common with me, but he almost had to like go through all these conversations of me too, I always wanted to get on a boat and just sail somewhere, And then he says, I do too. And I've always wanted to I had a sailboat, he said, but I really wanted a motorboat just to be able turnkey and go. And I said, well, what are you waiting for? You know? And he says, you're right, I don't know. So that was one of the first things that we did, you know. Our relationship was just so amazing. It was the most remarkable thing. Most people look, women in particular, look for their knight in shining armor, right? And they want to be swept away. But this was like a tsunami. when you know, I was swept away, it was just, I'd never seen anything like that in my life. It was just so romantic, and it was just, you know, he had no intention of letting this go, you know, and he would always say that God made us perfectly for each other. And I'd never met a more charming, beautiful person in my life. And he brought out the best in me, you know. I just, you know, number one, I said, you know, I have my 3 children, and they're the world to me. That means everything to me. So, you know, I hope, you know, we're 40 years old, and so I hope that you're going to be okay with that. And he said, of course, and of course I am. He jumped into that role like he had been doing it his whole life. And then, you know, here come the grandkids after that. You know, 3 years after Brandy was born, you know, then we started having grandkids, and it's just like a big, huge family that we've always had, you know. And never felt weird. It never felt like, oh, this went way too fast, but it was like he didn't do anything slow, you know. Corky bought the boat 1 month after we had been married. And we literally were on this, my first date has not ended with him. We went on our first date, and he literally swept me off my feet, and he was not taking no for an answer, and we were together from that moment.
So, you know, when she's 5 going, ew, ew, ew. You were licking all
Didn't
over
you hate
me.
that when your mother did that?
Well, yeah, when I was 13, it was time to stop.
Yeah, my mom did it at the prom.
I would never have enough time. The time is too short, but I could have been with her for 100 years and never got bored. I never felt like, you know, it wasn't enough, but it was enough. And I'm gonna miss him for eternity. But, you know, I do have the hope that we're going to get that miracle baby, because the thing is that, you know, we have a hope, and we're going to see each other again. And when we do, everything's going to be perfect.
Is this thing recording? Is this on? I would say the one piece of advice is to don't rely on your own understanding, and try to take the wisdom that you learn from God and His Word, the Bible. And I know it seems like when you're young, you go, oh no, it's so uncool. But it's the secret to the universe.
It's trusted and proven to be the right thing. And so it helps us all from the Creator to learn how to handle each other. Bunch of people out here.
Flames are going.
Present arms.
Thank you. With radio traffic. All Vertigo agency personnel, this is last alarm for retired Glendale Fire Captain Cordell Corky Harges. Captain Harges served the city of Glendale for 30 years, retiring in 2019. Sir, it was a pleasure working with you. Godspeed on your journey to your eternal home. Thank you for your contributions to the city of Glendale and the fire department. You will forever be in our hearts and memories. Rest in peace. Verdugo Blair.
Order! Arms! At ease. Leave it there, right there, Armin. Go ahead and leave it there, bud. Cordell Harges, or Corky as we knew him, had a zest for life that jumped out and grabbed everybody he met. He approached the fire service and the public he served with the same enthusiasm. Corky's interest in the fire service began in the 1970s when he received his AS degree in fire science. He worked briefly with the San Gabriel Fire Department for 11 months in 1989 before being hired by Glendale, where he served from 1989 to 2019. Corky was a positive, funny, larger-than-life character who couldn't sit still. That charm and vitality landed him a job with the studio as an extra for prominent movies and TV shows. He was also a stuntman, particularly a stunt driver. Corky approached the GFD with that same eagerness. And while he was a jokester and always fun to work with, he was also well-respected and an outstanding fireman. As much as Corky loved life and the fire service, his true love and legacy was his family. And if you knew Corky, you were aware of that right away. I had the privilege and honor of working with him while he was a captain at 25s for a couple years. He was passionate about supporting and mentoring other young firemen, always doing what he could to help others. Corky leaves a large, close family who are all grieving immeasurably. He is survived by his wife, Ruby, was preceded by his stepson, Robert, in 2019, but he is survived by his 3 daughters, Christina, Denise, and Brandy, as well as 2 grandchildren, Alexis and Timmy. Timmy is now following in his granddad's footsteps and wants to be a fireman as well. Thank you, Corky, for your service to the Glendale Fire Department and the city of Glendale. Uniform personnel, attention. Present arms. Order, arms. When I am called to duty, God, whenever flames may rage, give me strength to save some life, whatever be its age. Help me to embrace a little child before it's too late, or some older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and give the best in me to guard my neighbor and protect his property. And if according to your will, I have to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand my children and my wife. Ruby, on behalf of the City of Glendale and the Glendale Fire Department, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation to your husband's honorable and faithful service. Thank you.
Mornings when feel it most. I can't decide if I wanna wear my hair. Coffee was always handed to me when I was rushing out the door, even at 24. How can I start a day, play a game, or get my oil changed? Can't place blame, I'll go insane. Instead I'll sing to bring me closer to you. It's what you wanted to, but all I wanted was you. Never knew something more true. I would die for you. At night in bed, in my head, I know it's a temporary end. My huckleberry friend. How can you be the sunrise and the sunset? Hummingbirds and wind chimes, the scent of pine and sweet pies. What I would do for more time to hear your repeated lines. No, I'll never be fine. All I wanted was you. Never knew something more true. I would die for you. I would die for you. Now what do we do?
So you think you could tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil?